My best friend's mom was a billionaire CEO. She closed the door and said something I'll never forget. I never thought the worst night of my life would turn into the moment that changed everything. It was a Friday evening in late October when Marcus called me, his voice cracking through the phone like he was trying to hold himself together with both hands. "Jake, I need you, man. Come over, please." Marcus Holloway was my best friend since 7th grade. We'd been through everything together. Broken bones, broken hearts, failed exams, and dreams we were too embarrassed to say out loud. So when he called like that, I didn't ask questions. I just got in my car. What I didn't expect was her. The house that didn't feel real, the Holloway estate, sat at the edge of Lakeshore Drive in Chicago, glass and marble rising against a steel gray sky. I'd been here maybe a dozen times over the years, but it never stopped feeling like I was walking into a magazine spread. Marcus's mom, Diana Holloway, was not the kind of woman you forgot. 44 years old, CEO of Holloway Global Ventures, a company worth somewhere north of $3 billion. She had built it herself after Marcus's father walked out when Marcus was 9, leaving her with a toddler, a failing real estate firm, and nothing but her own iron will. I respected her from a distance the way you respect a thunderstorm. Quiet, careful, absolutely certain she could destroy you without meaning to. Marcus let me in, his eyes red, his usually sharp jawline slack with exhaustion. "What happened?" I asked. "Dad showed up," he said flatly. "After 15 years, he wants money. He's threatening to go to the press with some old story about Mom, something about her first deal. Said it could tank the company's IPO next month." My stomach dropped. "Does your mom know?" "She's known for 2 days." He laughed bitterly. "She's been handling it alone. Like she handles everything. Alone." The gold dress, I'd been there for maybe an hour, Marcus and I sitting on the back porch, the lake wind cold and restless. When the door behind us opened, I turned, and I forgot how to breathe. Diana Holloway stood in the doorway wearing a floor-length gold gown, sequins catching the dim porch light like scattered stars. Her blonde hair fell in soft waves. She was dressed for the charity gala she'd clearly been planning to attend before her world started unraveling, and she looked, despite everything, absolutely flawless. She looked at Marcus first, something soft moving behind her eyes. Then she looked at me. "Jake." Her voice was calm, composed. "I didn't know you were here." "I called him," Marcus said. "That okay?" She nodded slowly, then glanced back toward the house. "Marcus, sweetheart, your grandfather is on the phone. He's been waiting." Marcus stood reluctantly, squeezing my shoulder as he passed. 2 minutes, he said. "Don't disappear." And then it was just us. Diana stepped onto the porch, the gown whispering against the floor. She moved to the railing, looking out at the lake, and for a long moment, she didn't say anything. I didn't either. What was I supposed to say to a woman like her? Then she turned to me. "Come inside for a moment." Behind the closed door, I followed her into the study. A room lined with bookshelves and framed photographs, awards on one wall, a single crayon drawing by a young Marcus on another, framed like it was worth millions. She closed the door. Quietly. Deliberately. Then she turned, crossed her arms loosely, and looked at me with those clear gray eyes that had probably stared down boardrooms full of men twice her age. "You've been Marcus's person for a long time," she said. It wasn't a question. "Since we were 12, I said. She nodded. "I want to ask you something, and I need you to answer honestly, not politely, honestly." "Okay, do you think my son is okay?" The question caught me completely off guard. Not is the company okay? Not is the situation under control? She was asking about her son. Her voice had dropped to something quieter, something that didn't belong in boardrooms, something entirely human. "No," I said, because she asked for honesty. "He's not okay. He's scared. He feels like he can't fall apart in front of you because he thinks you need him to be strong right now." Something moved through her face. Not pain exactly, but recognition. Like I'd named something she already knew. "He gets that from me," she said quietly. "The not falling apart." She walked to the window, the gold gown trailing behind her, and I watched her carry the weight of that admission like it was something she'd set down for the very first time. "I built this company so he would never feel abandoned again," she said, "so he would always have something solid. But I think somewhere along the way I got so busy building the thing that I forgot to just be his mother." I didn't know what to say, so I just said the truth. "He knows you love him. He talks about you like you hung the moon, Mrs. Holloway, even when he's frustrated, even now." She turned from the window and looked at me. And for just a second, just one unguarded, real, completely human second, her eyes filled. She didn't let it fall. She blinked it back with the same quiet discipline she probably used for everything. But I saw it, and somehow being trusted to see it felt like more than I deserved. "You're a good friend to him," she said softly. "You always have been." Then she straightened. The armor came back. Not cruelly, just naturally, the way a person puts on a coat in the cold. She smoothed the front of her gold gown and took a slow breath. "I'm going to cancel the gala tonight," she said. "I'm going to order terrible pizza and watch whatever ridiculous movie Marcus wants to watch. And I'm going to let him know that the company can wait one night." She looked at me with a small, careful smile. "You should stay, if you want." The night that changed things, I stayed. We ordered 3 pizzas. Marcus picked an action movie that was objectively terrible and absolutely perfect. Diana Holloway, billionaire CEO, woman who had been on the cover of Forbes twice, sat on her living room couch in that stunning gold gown, barefoot, eating pepperoni pizza and laughing at jokes that weren't even that funny. I watched Marcus look at his mother halfway through the movie, really look at her, and I saw something relax in him that had been wound tight for years. Around midnight, Marcus fell asleep on the couch, the way he used to when we were kids. Diana and I sat in the quiet for a moment. "Thank you," she said, low enough that it wouldn't wake him. "I didn't do anything." "You came." She glanced at her son, sleeping, peaceful. "Sometimes that's everything." I drove home that night with the city lights reflecting off the wet streets, Marcus's city, her city, and I kept hearing her voice behind that closed door. Not the CEO voice, not the untouchable voice, but the quiet, honest one underneath. "Do you think my son is okay?" That was the night I understood something I hadn't before, that the strongest people aren't the ones who never break. They're the ones who ask the right questions in quiet rooms, who choose their children over galas, who let one person, just one, see the truth behind the gold. She called me 2 weeks later, not about Marcus, just to ask if I was okay. I don't know what that means yet, but I know I'm going to find out. Sometimes the most extraordinary people aren't extraordinary because they never need anyone. They're extraordinary because when it matters most, they do